to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. Hey, y'all, and welcome. I am so excited about today's video. All right, so let's get started. DIY number 1. So for this one, I've got some of these wood pallets that came from the Dollar Tree. They're just little minis. I've also got some of the leather ribbon. Oh my goodness, I have been trying to get my hands on some of this for a minute, y'all, and I have still yet to see any. So thank you to Miss Marcy, who sent me a huge box of goodies, and the ribbon was in there, and also those pallets, actually, but all of it came from the Dollar Tree. I've also got my glue gun and some craft sticks that I'm going to be using. All right, now, I first took my heat gun. I just wanted to show y'all this real quick. Most of you have seen me do this before, but if you are new to crafting, your heat gun will actually take off stickers. Instead of it ripping and peeling and whatever and it being forever to try to get a sticker off, just use your heat gun and it pulls right off. All right, now I lined those up. I flipped them over on the back, lined them up, took my ruler just to make sure that I was keeping a straight line with them. I wanted it all to stay even. I'm then going to take some of the craft sticks, and I just kind of eyeballed it to see exactly what the width that I needed of that craft stick in order to glue these together. So I just cut those craft sticks. I just took each one, snipped it up, got it the right size. I'm then going to be taking some of this Starbond glue. Now look at this box of glue, y'all. They were kind enough to send me all of this glue to try out. So y'all are going to try it out with me. I have used it before, but I've got some different ones that I'm wanting to try. And this one here, they come just like this. You just pop the top on, take that other part off. You're going to snip the little tip of it to open it up. It also comes with a lid that's got a little needle in it that you put on after you use it, and that keeps it from, drying up and then you can't get into it. Now, there's also an accelerator. How this works, I'm not totally sure, but I know it works, okay? And y'all are fixing to see it. So this wood glue that I'm using is a medium to thick brown adhesive, multi-purpose adhesive, but it also said that it was good to fill in cracks in wood. So I was like, okay, wood, obviously, maybe it'll work on this. So I just added it to the back of those craft sticks, sprayed my accelerator, and then popped that thing down. And I'm telling you, the second that it hits that accelerator, it is stuck. Like, there's no moving it around. So where you want it is where you better lay it down, because you're not going to pick it up afterwards. And this thing is so sturdy now. I'm shocked at just how well this piece went together. Like, I would not be scared to sell this or anything. I mean, it's very, very well put together. So I definitely recommend that Starbond, or at least that particular one that I used. Okay, now, I have got tacks that came from the Dollar Tree. I've got my leather ribbon. I just kind of eyeballed it out there. I'm making just a little handle. If you haven't realized it yet, we are making a tray, and it turns out so stinking cute. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm like obsessed with this little tray now. All right, so I just added my tack to the end of my ribbon. I'm just going to pull it up, make a little loop, see exactly how long I need it to be. I just snip that off with scissors, take my other tack, and I'm just going to pop it right down in there. And now we've made the handle for our tray. Too cute and so easy. This was the simplest DIY ever, and it turns out so stinking cute. All right, I then took some plaster chalk paint and very, very, very lightly dry brushed this entire piece. I just wanted to give it that old look, weathered. Check it out. I love this. It's so simple, but there are so many ways to decorate this and to use this. I love it. Absolutely love this. All right, moving right along, DIY number 2. So for this one, I have got a mini chalkboard from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take my plaster chalk paint and just dry brush this entire piece. Now, I wanted the wood grain to still show through because I'm kind of trying to keep everything cohesive, obviously. That way, in the end, it all comes together. And our tray was already, you know, the rough wood. So that's what I decided to do. Now, I am going to hand letter this, and it turns out good. I'm proud of it, but it's not the best. It's the best that I could do. How about that? But it is the message on the sign that makes this whole entire piece. I saw this on Pinterest, and I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, it kind of stopped me in my tracks. Like, wow, that is such a cool sign. Like, it gives such a message. And it's just a neat way of putting it. So, and as you can see there, if you mess up on these chalkboards, no big deal. I just rub that off with my finger and then, you know, continue to write. Now, I did go over this. Is that not cool, y'all? 1 cross plus 3 nails equals 4 given. Oh my gosh, that's so neat. I just absolutely love this saying. So anyways, I went over these letters a couple times. I just kind of played with it until I got it, you know, about like how I wanted it or whatever. But I would kind of look at it, step back, look at it, think about it, go back in, add a little more here, add a little detail there. You know, like I said, I just simply played with the letters until I got them halfway decent looking. Now, the thing about this is what I wanted to mention to y'all. I am using a, oh, looky there. So it just bled out, like it flooded the end of that pen. No big deal though. I just took a baby wipe, wiped it right off. I mean, nothing to it. Cleaned it right up and started back over. But what I was going to tell y'all is this marker came from Walmart. It is just a regular chalk marker from Walmart, couple bucks. But I would have rather used the Arteza chalk markers. I love those. I love the tip on those. You can really do some detail work with those. But I have misplaced mine, y'all. I cannot find them anywhere. So I think I'm going to end up having to order another set of those because I cannot find them. And I really enjoy using those Arteza ones. But the Walmart one worked fine. Like I said, I just played with these letters until I got them like I wanted them. I wanted to do some hand lettering. I've been practicing on it a lot here lately. And I've been taking the classes on Skillshare. So I just wanted to, you know, do something of my own, something that I had done. And I love this. I really think this turned out adorable. All right, so I have got some lamb's ear and also some lavender that I was planning on using. Now, I ended up going with just the lavender. The lamb's ear looked kind of bulky on this small frame, so I did strictly the lavender. I took different ribbons and cut them up, and we're going to just make a messy bow. Now, I've made multiple messy bows on my channel, but super simple. You just pile your ribbon up, take a thinner string, tie it in the middle. I just glued my lavender down with my messy bow, and check this out. I love it. I'm super proud of this. All right, DIY number 3. So for this one, I'm going to be using this big chunky cross that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm also going to be using some beads that I get off of Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description box for those beads. I've got all different sizes, but really reasonably priced on Amazon. And then I've got all these different ribbons again, just like we used last time. Now, I started out by taking that cross, and don't y'all just love those crosses? How stinking cute is that? I mean, I just love that it's like chunky, and I just love it. I painted it with some plaster chalk paint, went back and sanded it down. I then took a baby wipe, cleaned it off real good, and then I'm going in with my Waverly clear wax. Now, I just did this just to seal it. I've been using this here lately and trying to really finish off all of my projects and seal them and, you know, just make sure everything's done correctly. I do have my little site on the coffee shop where I sell most of the DIYs that you see made on my channel. So I've been trying to really step it up and make sure that my projects are done correctly. Now, I took some of the Dollar Tree twine. Now, I use the Dollar Tree twine on purpose because it's much thinner than, say, like the Walmart twine. But I just looped it through that cross, pulled it out. Now I have 2 strands of it that I taped together, and then I'm going to put those 2 strands through my beads. Now, I'm going through this pretty quickly, but it's super simple is why. I then take my ribbon and I'm just going to wrap it around this package that I've got here. Now, you can use, say, 4 fingers or, you know, a deck of cards or something around that size. That's a good size tassel. That's what we're making for the end of our beaded thing here. But anything that's about the size of a deck of cards, I would say. That's about the right size. But I just wrapped it around it. I then took my twine that I had placed through the cross and my beads, and I just slid it right up through the middle of my little bulk of ribbon that I've got going on. It's a little easier for y'all to see what I'm doing than for me to explain it. But I just looped it through, then tied it off. I believe I triple knotted it, actually. I think I tied it about 3 times. Now I'm going to actually slide my ribbon off of the little package, get everything untucked, make sure it's all kind of fanned out, cut off my twine. I'm going to tuck that twine in a little bit. I don't want you to be able to see that first part of the twine. So I just kind of tucked it in, made sure, like I said, to get everything fluffed out on the bottom. I'm then going to take another piece of twine and tie that off right at the very top, just like a tassel. Super, super simple to do, y'all. Fluffed it all out again. Now I'm going to cut the bottoms. Each of those have a loop. So you're just going to cut that loop open to where it's, you know, frayed out, or however you want to say that. But I just fluffed it out real good, made sure that my twine was on there right, and then I just trimmed it off, shaped it up a little bit on the bottom, and we're done. Boom, this is done. This is stinking cute. Oh, I am in love with this one. You hear me? Okay, DIY number 4. So for this one, I've got this Halloween sign that actually was like $3 at the Dollar General store, but I only gave like $1 for it or something. And then I've also got this little cross piece that I got at Walmart for, I think, like 97 cents. Now, I took that sign and my plaster chalk paint, and I just painted right over the top of it. I used my heat gun in between coats. I'll leave a link in the description box for that heat gun. That dude is a lifesaver. I did give it 2 coats. I'm then going to take my antique wax, and there were like indentions in it, you know, to make it look like shiplap. So I just took my antique wax and a small brush and went right down inside that little indention. Now, when I got to about right here, it started to kind of smear. Like, obviously the paint wasn't dry, but no big deal. I just kept going right over the top of it. It's kind of what I wanted it to do, was smear, so that was totally fine. I just added that in there, though, pretty thick. I wanted it on there good. We're going to take a baby wipe and go back over it here in a minute. So I did want it on there pretty good. I more or less dry brushed the sides. I was just kind of brushing at them, but it wasn't technically dry because I had quite a bit of stuff on my brush. But you get the point, the rhythm of it there. So just kind of did that. Then I decided I would do the edges of it, and that really brought it out. I mean, this probably distressed better than anything I've ever done before. So definitely going to be using that antique wax more and more, I'm sure. I took a baby wipe and just went right over the top of that. just to kind of smear it in, kind of smooth it all out, blend everything together. I actually went over it a little too much, like I had taken off a little too much. So I end up going back in with my brush and adding, you know, a little more to it. I really wanted it to be really good and distressed, and I liked the way that it had turned out the first time. So I just went right back over it, then took my baby wipe, smeared it again. I mean, this is just a process of getting it to look how you want it to look. So if you take off too much, just add a little. If you don't have enough on, add a little. You know what I mean? Like, and then I took my brush and actually dry brushed over the top of it with that plaster, and that made it look perfect. I mean, it was exactly what I was wanting. It was perfectly distressed. Now, I did get some around the edges, so I just took a baby wipe, and that came right off. Literally wiped it right off the edges. So the outside portion was still solid black. All right, now I took that cross and my antique wax, and I just went right around the edge of it. There was like a, it was like a 3D, I guess you'd say, cross. And so it had a smaller cross right in the middle of it. So I was able to go around the outside edge of that with just my antique wax, because I wanted it to be darker and really pop, but I really wanted to leave that natural wood look to it also. So that's why I did that. Now, once again, I'm going in hand lettering, and this doesn't turn out just exactly the way I wanted it to, but it's okay. We're getting there, okay? I'm still practicing. So I just wrote these on here, and then I decided to do the risen in cursive. Now, it didn't turn out like I wanted it to, because that N on the end of that looks like an M, but I end up fixing that in the end. I'll end up fixing that part, but I just played with these letters just like I did the first time, and just kept adding to them and playing with them until I got it the way that I wanted it. But I do have a question. Do you say he has risen, or do you say he is risen? Good question, right? Okay, leave me in the comments and let me know. Now, I took some lamb's ear. I was just dying to use that lamb's ear because obviously, y'all, these DIYs have been about Christ and the lamb's ear, you know, the Son of God, the lamb. So I just wanted to use that lamb's ear, and I thought it was perfect for this project. So I just added my lamb's ear. Now, there were some parts that were a little sparse, so I did add some extra pieces in there. And then I took that cross and just laid it right down the middle of that, right where you could see the stem. I'm going to cover that up with that cross. And that's all I did to this one, and I love it. Now, y'all didn't think we were done, did you? How about a bonus DIY? All right, for this one, I've got this black stretched canvas that came from Arteza, however you want to say it. I have also got a stencil from Chalk Couture. This one actually came from a friend of mine off of Instagram, and she's got her own little deal there. It's called Magnolia Design Company. But Melissa over on All Things Crafty, she also sells Chalk Couture. So if you want to check out the Chalk Couture, go to either of those pages there. Now, I just took this and smoothed it out. All you do is take this stencil, smooth it out on your surface. You then take the paste that comes with it. And mine was a little dried out because I've had this for a little while, but I made it work. Usually it's a little bit creamier than what I have, but it worked. So, hey, we're going with it. But you simply smear this on with this little squeegee deal that they give you. You then go back over your letters or whatever it is that you're stenciling on and kind of scrape it off. And you can continue to move that paste around. So you're not really wasting anything, if that makes sense. You can see what I'm doing there. You literally smear it in and then go back and scrape at it. That way you can, manipulate that paste and move it around. But super duper easy to use. And y'all, there's almost no way to mess this up. Like, I have no luck with stencils. It always bleeds through. I've tried painting the base color first. I've tried doing the Mod Podge first. I've tried everything, and none of that works for me for some reason. But this Chalk Couture stuff is on point. It definitely works very, very well, and it is super simple to use. It's actually pretty satisfying, honestly. Look at that. It's perfect. I mean, there's not a smudge, smear, bleed, nothing. It's perfect. All right, now, once I got that on and it's dried, I am taking the lavender that we had from earlier, and I'm just going to put it into a little bundle. Now, I wanted to use the lavender in that other DIY and also in this one, because obviously the purple kind of represents Easter, represents Christ, so I thought that kind of went with this whole theme that we had going on. I added a little hot glue to my little bundle there, and I'm just going to wrap it up with some twine. I just keep adding my hot glue and then wrapping my twine around it. Super simple. All of these DIYs today were simple, y'all. I just wanted to bring you some Easter stuff, and when I do Easter, I don't really think of the bunnies and the chickens and whatever. I think of Christ. I mean, that's what Easter is all about. I love the thought of the kids hunting Easter eggs and, doing all that fun stuff. That's great. But honest to God, literally, Easter is about Christ. So I just felt like that's what this video needed to be about. So I hope that you enjoy it. Yeah, anyways, let's keep going. So I just made a simple little bow with some buffalo check ribbon and also some of the lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Added that to my little bundle, and that was it. This one's done. I love these DIYs. I think they turned out so stinking cute, y'all. And now for the final reveal. Oh my goodness, y'all. I love the way that these came together. All right, y'all, that is it for today. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this with your friends and family. Subscribe already. What are you waiting for? Okay, hit that notification bell so that you will know each time I upload a new video. Also, go check me out on Instagram, and I also have a Facebook group for y'all. These have been some great DIYs. I have really enjoyed this. I hope that y'all have. I know that I have definitely had a great time doing it. Definitely check me out over on the coffee shop. That is where you can purchase most of the DIYs seen on this channel. And y'all have a blessed day.